Hello, world. Patricia, O'Connor, and Frida, Reba, Dorsey here. She's trying to dictate our blocking. Yeah, she's got it. Today on the Bonsai balcony, it is a beautiful day in Alameda. We're supposed to have some clouds roll in a little bit later, but I wouldn't know it to look at this sky. I would say that is beautiful. Our coastal, just gonna jump right into it. Today's the Seinfeld show. What do I mean by Seinfeld show? It's not a show about anything. It'll be a couple of little interesting high points when I do stuff, but it's not about any one particular thing. Nor is it really a balcony tour. Those are long, and they're good, but they're also, it's not gonna be that long. I just wanted to also show everybody all these little salmon-y colored red little pink tips on my coastal oak. It's saying time to wake up. It took its time though. Speaking of time and waking up, it kind of slept in a little long, and it's still got our back to us. I should probably rotate this tree around. It would be time. Also, while I'm standing here, our little Japanese black pine graft on our ponderosa is bushing out, making candles, and has more buds upon it. All good things. The tree seems to be responding well to our repotting. A couple of days ago, I rearranged some things on my balcony, and I do that every so often. As the seasons change, some things aren't getting maybe enough light. Some things in early spring, when there's a lot of wind and a lot of rain, some things just don't like the wind, so I'll move them out of that, but they were getting good light. So I'll do a little hokey pokey and rotate everybody around to see how they're, and then I'll sit back and look and see how everybody responded to that. The last rotation worked out pretty well, but I made a couple of amendments. I amended it by putting this tree back, taking the maples and putting them there, putting this tree back and rotating it. And what I did instead was I moved a fleet of my show hens out here to the rail to get better light. But now that maybe we're probably past the windy portion of that program. I'm also not making use of certain amount of space here, and the reason I'm not making use of certain amount of space there is that is seemingly, you see those two trees sitting there. One of them is in triage, and the other I just need to make space for. But why, if they're there in perfectly good sunlight, do I consider that to be two trees that I still need to make space for? Well, because that space doesn't get in light until almost noon. So the further we get into spring, the more that changes, and the more that'll become a more and more desirable spot for trees to be. But right now, the trees that I've moved there, it's too soon for them to go there. They don't get enough light during the day. Their day starts around noon when the lights come up. When the shadow finally goes away as sun rakes its way to that corner. That's kind of what I'm figuring out, and it's only taken me 4 years to get that. But at any rate, these guys are less freaked out about being in the shade a little. They can hang out in the shadow of another tree. Too many trees are put in the shadow by this guy for it being there. Also, I can't water it overhead. I can reach out here and water the Japanese black pine overhead and get all four sides. For me to water this overhead, I need to be able to reach out to this side of the pot, and when it was out there, I couldn't do that. This side would always go too dry. What just hit? I just heard Okay, we'll just keep moving. I know what I just heard. I just heard a little brick of ball gold hit the floor. It's okay. We'll live without it. So that's what's kind of going on. So I've amended the arrangement, but I like this. I like this just fine. I think this is. I think this is just. This is going to be just fine the way it is now. So it's such a warm day. We're going to be in the 70s today. Right now, it's in the high 60s. High 60s, and Frida's just hanging out because concrete feels cool. Everybody got a good watering early. Now, as far as that's concerned, the moss that I took up from there and from the other oak is here. It is dried out considerably. This is of a consistency that I can easily now break up and start watering in, and we'll just start our new moss season that way. So that's kind of what's going on there now. Dawn Redwood. I've had some ideas on the Dawn Redwood. I've stated those ideas, and I've thought about them a little bit more. And everything is starting to bud out on this guy from tip to tail, and I've got my two towers there. I'm getting options on this tree that I'm looking forward to exercising. This is a huge blocky piece of wood. So when this guy gets just a little bit older, I'll put a piece of wire to it and take it out this way. And as soon as I have enough growth on that it could survive that bend, me pulling that down and training it to go that way, I will start cutting back this and everything attached to it, and thus so this huge block of wood. That only needs leads, and I will replace that huge block of wood with this nice young piece of vegetation that comes out here closer to the base. That'll allow me to clean up a lot of that. Wish I could do that for here. Well, wait, I can. Oh, but yes, I can. I have made a decision to remove this top and all of this, but I'm not going to do all of that right now. I'm going to leave this and this huge block of wood, but I would like to promote some shoots down here if possible. And whether it is or whether it isn't, this could be used the same as I was talking about using this branch. This could be used to our advantage, and that would still allow me to cut away a lot of our overage stuff. So for right now, oh, come on, Pat. So for right now, doing this with one hand while holding camera. This is what I have in mind for right now, and those are my hybrid cutters. Boom, there. So that should probably get stuck in something so I can grow it if possible. This leaves me with this, and you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. Got a lot. I've got a lot of big, huge, blocky lumber when I would like something that looks more like a branch or a limb just coming out so gracefully, like yo. But we're getting there. This is the new top. This just got this is just right now as we speak getting a signal that it's the new guy in town, and all of that that it curtails. I could probably do a little bit better work at chewing this up, but it doesn't look totally unnatural. I'm just not necessarily at a good stopping point, I think, after having looked at it. Anyway, that's what's going on there, and that's what we did. This stuff will all be allowed to continue. It will probably flush out a whole bunch, and as you can see, I put a piece of wire on it a week or so ago to amend this top, keep it going on a direction that we like. Something that I kind of try to watch out for, and I'm about to transition to another tree with this, is when you chop something back and then wire up the next shoot, sometimes you can see that history where the first stem grew like this, and then you took a stem from that and wired it back up here, but it's going that way. and then 2 years later, you chop the top off of that, and the new one comes up this way. And so when you back off and look, you don't really have something that looks natural. You've got something that looks like, obviously, it was rotated somehow in the sky, because it's got segments that. So that's kind of what I would try to fix with wire, to try to make sure that we've got some kind of continuous line going there to that end. Before the show, I couldn't figure out a way to pinch this with one hand and wrap the wire with the other, and then hold the camera. So this got wired, and that far back one got wired. You can see that the bases of the wire have a little distance in them. It's not just totally about doing a killer wire job. It's more about getting enough wire on there so that I can hold it here by the base where it starts, and straighten that out. Okay, done. I also did that to the back one. Sorry, I did that without you guys. I was just one more hand, then I would be able to pull that off. Also, that guy's looking pretty good. This guy has wire scars on it for where I let those guys dig in last time. This is aluminum wire because it's soft enough to do the job. The tree is soft enough to accept that as a firm. It's firm enough to do the job. It's kind of what I'm stumbling around trying to say. But by leaving it in too long, I've got these candy stripes on here that on this particular tree with this particular softwood, we're not necessarily going to get bark or something to bark over that and kind of. So I would expect that to last longer and to be kind of this is not a finished tree, so it's not a big deal. But at some point, I will look at those and evaluate whether or not that alone could be a reason to chop another top here, but just as sure as we always have sprouts, we could always chop another top. If I see those scars here next year, I would probably redo this top over that alone before I invest too many. And at the same time, I would be doing kind of what you see me doing now. Keeping our top basically one direction. I know but these are supposed to be formal uprights, or I would be putting deliberate motion in these. And if I were putting deliberate motion in these, it wouldn't be something like that, if you kind of get what I mean by that hand motion. Alrighty then. I have little birds. I take some of the peanuts and I break them up so that the little birds can get some, and they still come up and throw the big peanuts off so that they can. I think maybe they think they break when they hit the bottom. I doubt it. Pay attention, little birds. I'm trying to hook you up. Like and subscribe if you guys have not already. I appreciate you. Frida here tells me all the time how much she appreciates you. And we've got quite a bit going on. It's an ever changing world, an ever changing environment. We have our little balcony here, but at last count, at some point we had about 100 trees. A lot of those our numbers were little because of those guys. But this is a great day to be in bonsai, and a great time to get started, and a really good time to have a zen-filled hobby. And this is a very rare get in under 15-minute show for us at the bonsai balcony. Thank you all so much for watching.